We all know how amazing Arcane is. Season 1 was a masterpiece, praised for its intricate storytelling, rich character development, and stunning animation. It set a new standard for video game adaptation and animated series in general. However, Season 2, while still great, feels a bit off. It lacked the cohesion and tight narrative control that made Season 1 so exceptional. And the reason for this decline? Riot Games' decision to make Arcane canon to the League of Legends universe. Season 2 starts with Zone and Piltover on the Brick of War, a natural escalation from the explosive ending of Season 1, but by Episode 8, these two factions are suddenly working together to fend off an external threat. Wait, what? Weren't they at each other's throats just 2 episodes ago? This shift feels rushed, as if the writers were trying to cram too much into too little time. This lack of narrative breathing room undermines the emotional weight of the story. For example, V character arc in Season 2 is a roller coaster. She goes from being an ex-prisoner with a deep distrust of authority to joining the Enforcers, essentially becoming a cop in what feels like a heartbeat. Before she can even process this drastic change, she leaves the Force and spirals into an emotional breakdown. While her turmoil makes sense, given her traumatic past, the pacing makes it hard to fully invest in her journey. It's as if the show is sprinting through her development rather than letting it unfold naturally. Caitlyn's story is even more jarring. She starts as a justice-driven enforcer, breaks up with Vi, becomes a de facto dictator, gets a new love interest out of nowhere, reconciles with Vi, and ends up leading troops in a war all within 8 episodes, probably even less if we think about it. This breakneck pace sacrifices depth for spectacle, leaving viewers with a whiplash. So, why did Season 2 feel so rushed and disjointed? The answer lies in Riot's decision to make Arcane canon to the League of Legends universe. In Season 1, the writers had the freedom to craft a self-contained story without worrying about how it fits into the larger lore. This allowed them to take creative liberties and focus on character-driven storytelling. However, once Arcane became canon, the writers were forced to align the show narrative with the Riot established lore and their future plans for League of Legends universe. This shift in priorities is evident in Season 2. The writers had to juggle multiple storylines while ensuring they didn't contradict existing lore or limit future storytelling opportunities. For instance, Victor's arc in Season 2 diverges significantly from his original League of Legends backstory. In the game, Victor is a visionary who believes in the glorious evolution, a philosophy centered on augmenting humanity with technology. In Arcane, however, he is portrayed as a tragic figure influenced by hextech spores, driven to extreme measures in the name of evolution. While this change adds depth to his character, it also alienates a long-time fans who preferred his original betrayal. The backlash from Victor Main's subreddit was particularly intense, with some fans accusing Riot of turning Victor into a twink or erasing his original identity. While the criticism often veered into homophobia and toxicity, it highlighted the challenges of adapting a beloved character for a new medium while staying true to their roots. By the end of Season 2, only Victor and Jay's story feels truly complete, as their arcs culminate in their deaths, assuming they aren't brought back in the future seasons. We don't know, they might be, we'll see. Every other character's journey is left open-ended. Jinx's fate is ambiguous. Vi and Caitlyn's relationship is still evolving, and they still have to deal with everything that happened and will happen in the city. And the threat of Noxus looms on the horizon, as we have seen with the battleships. While this leaves room for future storytelling, it also makes Season 2 feel like a transitional chapter rather than a satisfying conclusion to our story. The introduction of external threats like the Noxian fleet further complicates the narrative. While it sets the stage for potential future seasons and new projects, it detracts from the intimate, character-driven focus that made Season 1 so compelling. The show's shift from a personal story about family and betrayal to a broader conflict involving multiple factions feels like a missed opportunity. Despite these issues, Arcane remains a phenomenal show. Its animation, voice acting, emotional depth are still leagues ahead of most animated series. However, Riot's decision to make it canon undeniably left its mark. The added constraints limited the writer's creative freedom, resulting in a season that, while still great, couldn't quite live up to the brilliance of season 1. The question now is, where does Arcane go from here? With the story's open-ended conclusion, Riot has the opportunity to expand Arcane universe and explore new narratives. However, they must tread carefully. The success of Arcane lies in its ability to balance character-driven storytelling with a larger League of Legends lore. If Riot continues to prioritize canon over creativity, they risk diluting what made Arcane so special in the first place. In the end, Arcane Season 2 is a testament to show's resilience. Even with Riot's interference, it managed to deliver a compelling, visually stunning story. But it also serves as a cautionary tale about the danger of sacrificing creative freedom for the sake of canon. Let's hope Riot learns from this experience and gives the writers the freedom they need to create another masterpiece in the future. Thanks for watching.